They'll work their way up the hill. It is time to get things underway. Field looks good. 2x2, 8 rows deep. Green, green, green. Big jump for Cardenas. He'll quickly go out to driver's left. Jeffers trying to see if he can't slot in behind Argyros to get that run down into the corner. He's going to have to move to the outside. Jeffers going to try to pinch through, and they will zipper nicely in through turn number 1 as Jeffers able to slot in behind G3 Argyros. The man on the move early there trying to attack was Cardenas. Where does he go to? He's on the inside P5, so I think potentially Mossman jumping up. He and a Scorpione into the fight there as well. We had Frankie Mossman in the booth. Eric and I did yesterday. Had a good chance to talk with him, and he had a really good feel of confidence going into today, looking for that first USF Pro 2000 win. Jeffers is going to go immediately at Argyros. Jeffers to the outside, braking zone. They'll go side by side, and Jeffers has to give it up a little bit. Not quite deep enough. Eric, if you're going to get that job done, you got to almost have half a car length to be able to get through and around the outside.
Part of that is just staying visible and maybe a little bit of a squeeze to kind of slow that inside line up just enough to be able to shoot the gap to the outside. But carrying all that momentum on the exit is really difficult to do out of 5.
Big defense there for a Scorpione down the inside at turn number 8, trying to hold everybody at bay. They'll come back on and settle in. Very difficult to go too wide with speed through the carousel. They normally slot in. The driver on the outside just able to hold that run. Good job there coming out. That might have been Mayor de Honorine, but they're settling in now finally. At least we'll go single file through the kink. The drivers understand it's a 1-by-1 line through there. If you're going to try to go too wide on the outside, you're going to be in trouble. Drivers out front trying to stretch away a bit. G3 Argyros, strong opening lap, challenged early by Jack Jeffers, but right now those two drivers settling in P1 and P2.
You know, talked about that pass attempt on the exit of 5 on the outside for Jeffers. If that was a right-hand corner at the top of 6, that's a great move because you position yourself inside for the next corner.
Exactly.
Because it's another left-hander, he's obviously got the long way around. It's really difficult to pull that off.
Front 3 drivers separating themselves a little bit here on the opening lap. Argyros, Jeffers, and it's a Scorpione up into the 3rd position. Across the line, Frankie Mossman 4th, Cardenas 5th, Thomas Schrag 6th, Mayor de Honorine 7th, Christian Cameron 8th, Joey Brienza 9th, and Michael Costello gets a couple of spots here on the opening circuit. Started 12th. He gets himself up into 10th right now, and I think almost like damage control for Costello this weekend, Eric, because you remember, comes into the race here 2nd place in points, had that win of the Freedom 90 at IRP. 14 points back of Jeffers, just trying to do the best he can to score some points here before we head on to Mid-Ohio.
You know, and in the way that he's kind of been mired back mid-pack, it's been really difficult for him to get those points to stack, as we've talked about how important that is. And Jeffers continuing to have that front row start and an opportunity to stay out of trouble on this round 2 of the USF Pro 2000 Championship at Road America. You know, Costello's kind of in damage control right now. He's got to score as much as he possibly can to even stay within that catch range.
100%. Keep clawing your way forward. He's got a couple of spots. He's doing a great job. The battle, I'll tell you, folks, outside that top 8, even outside the top 10, the fight at the back here. Look at these guys going too wide. It is a scrap with Colin Aiken, JT Hoskins, Joshua Leonel, Tyke Durst. These guys are elbows up here early on in this 15-lapper for USF Pro 2000. Right now, I'll say this right now, our Pro 2000 drivers getting out to the gate the way we wanted to. The USF 2000 drivers, very messy. You and I talked about it yesterday. We kind of expect more from the drivers in Pro. They've been through many levels of our program. Some of them starting in juniors, working their way up. They know how to get around. They're the experienced drivers, and we expect more in terms of on-track respect and racecraft.
You know, and they even had a little bit of trouble in their race yesterday as well in race 1, very early in the going. And I think a lot of that has to do with you've been on the track, 2 or 3 sessions a day, and then all of a sudden you're just kind of one session today for USF Pro 2000 yesterday. So sitting idle hands, idle minds a little bit. So there's a little bit more adrenaline getting that race started. Here they've been on the racetrack early morning. A little bit more calm, cool, and collected to start the day.
Awesome fight brewing for 3rd, and Andres Cardenas has gone into the 3rd spot. Cardenas for Jay Howard, reeling in Leonardo Scorpione, and he made a move to get around the outside. In race 1 was very quick, but he talked to me on the podium, said he kind of used the tires up a little bit. There was not much left at the end there for Cardenas. We'll see how he does here as he has worked his way into third. He just turned the fast lap of the race last time by very early in a 15-lapper. As you see, a great shot here of the drivers coming down into 5. Does he have the pace to potentially reel in the leaders? Jeffers most definitely has reeled in Argyros last time by a couple of tenths of a second quicker. Jeffers up on the wheel trying to see if he can't grab another race win. It's been a good start to the season for Jack Jeffers. He's got a couple of wins, one at Arlington, one at the road course at Indianapolis, but would love to bag one here at Road America to stretch that point lead heading to Mid-Ohio.
Working lap 3 of 15 here for the USF Pro Championship. Of course, with Argyros, that lead was just over a half a second over Jeffers last time through. But Cardenas with the fast lap of the race thus far, early here in the going. But those bonus points, critical in the championship too.
I'm watching Cardenas right now coming through Kettle Bottoms. Look how much closer he is to that lead group. He's been able to put at least 2 or 3 car lengths on a Scorpione already. Andres Cardenas thinking about his first victory. The Peruvian who making his debut in North America here this weekend. Euro Cup 3 experience. Had a chance to chat with him, talking about how he kind of started thinking about potentially coming to North America, and talking about during COVID watching old Indianapolis 500s and saying, I think I want to try to race in that race. So it didn't immediately come to North America, but it was always in the back of his mind that maybe that's a place he'd like to race. Was able to hook up with Jay Howard this year. Has had some decent races for sure. He was 9th place in points coming in. No doubt in my mind he's moved up a couple. Where are we? Let's have a look at the standings right now. Cardenas now up into 6th. Yeah, 91 points. He's still 39 points out of the lead, but you start picking up some pace mid-season and clawing your way back. There's a possibility to be in the championship fight when we get back here to Road America in September.
When we talk about the ladder system for the USF Pro Championships, about how they are, at this level, 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. More ovals kind of coming into the mix now. Adding Milwaukee, I think, is going to be a lot of fun.
We've always had the the night before the 500, and now called the Carbonite Classic on Friday evening at Indianapolis Raceway Park. But that's a 5/8 mile oval. You're not going to put an Indy car on that. Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity for the USF 2000 drivers to get a feel for it. But we've always had a second oval for drivers in USF Pro 2000. It's been Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway in the past. Not able to get on that date, but there was an opening at the Milwaukee Mile, so a proper mile-long road course. We're going to test there tomorrow, and I'm really interested. I think on new tires, we're going to be flat out all the way around that racetrack, so it is going to be fantastic. And this battle is starting to heat up. Cardenas continues to close on Jeffers. It's a couple of car lengths now at the end of the back straightaway, and we're only going to put lap 4 in the books here. This is a 15-lapper. There's a long way to go. Cardenas, 2:02.425 as he keeps pushing here now. Good stuff for Cardenas to potentially fight his way into the lead. You see the shots around the racetrack. You see the cars coming in. The fans continue to roll in here as well. Great time slot here for the USF Pro 2000 guys. IndyCar teams all rolling in as well, so we'll have a side ear listening to the PA and find out who's up front here in this category. We had Mike Shank join us via Zoom call during our spring training event at Homestead back in February. All the drivers in essentially a seminar. Mike came on, talked about what he looks for in a driver, what he thinks is important, and mentioned with the fact, hey, we want to hear drivers win in races. He goes, a lot of times we can't get out to the pit wall to watch it. We're listening to PA. They're listening to Mike's like, I'm listening to Rob on the PA. I want to find out who's winning races. And right now, what's he hearing? He's hearing G3 Argyros. He's hearing Jack Jeffers. He's hearing Leonardo Scorpione. Maybe even this weekend it could be Andres Cardenas. But the drivers up front are the guys that the team owners are watching for certain.
And it's not only about wins too, but how they interact with the team, the engineering, feedback. That's also part of the critical development for these series drivers.
Yeah, feedback's a big thing. Once a driver gets into a camp, where they can do as much prospecting as they can, but once they get a young driver into the program, maybe a test day, and get a chance to see what kind of feedback, where is the language, where's the communication level from a young driver? Can they feel? Is it a seat of your pants feel? Do they work good with an engineer? That's something you learn the whole time. And it starts in karting because, to be honest, these young kids, anywhere from 5 to 13, when they're in their junior cadet and junior karting days, they're working with a mechanic. They're sitting down and going over data with their coach. They're looking at video. It starts early, and if they understand and start to really get a chance to have that communication, it's going to be something that parlays all the way through, all the way up to IndyCar.
Not only that, but the working knowledge of how the race car operates, what it needs, what it feels like. Making a small change, going out in a test session and saying, okay, that gave me 3/10. Why did it give me 3/10? It allowed me to turn in a little bit earlier. It allowed me to turn in a little bit later. That's all the feedback that those teams are looking for.
Maybe a pass for P4. Look at that battle behind the top 3. That is Frankie Mossman. Indeed, he comes around and sweeps from drivers left to right. Book it. Frankie Mossman goes to P4 with a fantastic pass on Leonardo Scorpioni. So Mossman now to the lead of that group. Scorpioni behind him. Thomas Schrag and Christian Cameron, the two TJ Speed Motorsport drivers, running 6th and 7th. Right there on a Scorpioni. Let's see if Christian Cameron's got something to attack here. Cameron up on the wheel. Front 3 drivers, though, checking out a little bit here with Argyros, Jeffers, and Cardenas. This is the battle right there for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Top 2 drivers, Argyros and Jeffers, turning their fastest laps that last time by. They gapped a little bit. 4/10 back to Cardenas. You can see a little bit of a gap, not much. Bigger gap back to 4th. So the front 3, the potential podium, the provisional podium, is running away here right now, but still so much racing to go. Working lap number 6, Eric. It feels like this is going to be an extra long race. I know we did 12 laps, but a lot of them under yellow with USF 2000, but I feel like we've already been racing for a lot here in Pro, and we're just getting started.
Well, not only that, but I think here everybody's settled down into a rhythm. We had a good start, good clean start all the way through the first couple of laps. Now everybody's got heat in the tires. This aero package is one that the toe is going to be important, so you kind of find a comfortable spot. And realistically, we talked to Frankie a little bit about how he felt kind of the tires were going away by about lap 12 of 15, where the tire deg itself is really plays into how the end of these races end up finishing.
Yep.
But right now everybody's in a rhythm, maybe saving a little bit of those Continental tires, ready to go race hard a little bit, push a little bit harder at the last couple of laps.
I'll give you 2 things. We've had a lot of testing here. We were here for a 2-day test last week. We tested on Thursday as well with 2 45-minute sessions. Guarantee these teams all did race simulations. They did a 15-lap run to see how the tires were going to be over 15 laps. The interesting thing, what Frankie told us yesterday, we asked about IndyCar rubber. Normally when we go out after IndyCar, the track changes all weekend long for these drivers, because one time they're out there and the track's green, the next time after Indy Next and IndyCar, all of a sudden there's tons of rubber. It's the temperature and the humidity that changes it. He talked about the fact, Frankie did, that when it's cooler, he said it's the most grip he's ever had in the car. Oftentimes, if it's an 85, 90-degree day, when you get out, it's not extra grip. It's greasy as heck. You're coming over top of that Firestone rubber, and it's really greasy. Yesterday, a lot of grip. And we're not even to 65 degrees here trackside, so I'm thinking grip level probably pretty high. What will that do to tire degradation, as you had mentioned?
Well, a lot of that is obviously the rubber not necessarily compatible. Different compounds themselves, they don't necessarily bond like you'd think they would. So they start to peel up a little bit of rubber too when the temperature gets a little bit warmer. That's not occurring, so we're not seeing as many marbles this weekend. I think even in IndyCar and Indy Next sessions this weekend, I don't think we've really necessarily had as many marbles on the outside as we've traditionally seen here.
And remember too, the cars and the setups are just starting to come into the window right now. For those of you at home or maybe trackside, these cars are not fun to drive over the first 3, 4, 5 laps because the tire pressures are set low. It's going to take a while for the heat to come in to get them where they need to be. So first couple laps, the car is going to be maybe a little bit diabolical. It's up to the driver to kind of hold on. But once those tire pressures get up to where they want them to be, the heat in those tires hit that kind of optimal window, then the car starts getting a little more confident, right? You can place it in different spots. So that's what we're getting to right now, closing in on the halfway point. It'll be 7 down, 8 to go when they come back around. Cardenas starting to close back up here as the top 3 drivers all going green on the last lap. Their personal best of the run. That's why I kind of wanted to reiterate that the cars are starting to get good. This time, no. Nobody going quicker on this lap. Last lap was the best, lap number 7. Cardenas looking to the inside of Jeffers. Here comes Andres Cardenas now. He is closed up, and he not only is looking at Jeffers, but he's looking one driver forward. He's trying to get to Argyros. Cardenas wants that first race win. Jay Howard Driver Development has done that here before. We've known the drivers who've come through that team, most notably Christian Rasmussen, having won in both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000 with Jay Howard Driver Development. I just don't think we're done here with the battle up front. Andre Cardenas is hungry for a race win. He will not settle for P3, and we still got a half a race still to go.
I was just going to say, thinking the same thing. We're just halfway here in this 15 lap of Andersen Company's Grand Prix Road America, powered by Elite Engines. But again, you know, talking with Logan Knapp earlier in the season when you guys were at St. Pete, messaged to each other back and forth a little bit on Facebook. But you know, self-serving, but good luck today for those guys. But how about the reliability of these Elite engines? They're just unbelievably fantastic.
Well, the concept for Elite engines, again, remember, folks, all of the engines we have, sometimes almost 70 engines on track, and we have all three series at the same track. They're all essentially built, race prepped here in Wisconsin, in West Bend. And it's Steve and his son Logan Knapp that do the work on these engines. The concept is to hit, we have that mark. We're looking for 250 horsepower out of these particular cars. We've changed the RPM level, the soft limiter, a couple of years ago, which gave the engine a little bit more. But they build every engine so that it comes into a window. They dyno it, so every engine's plus or minus this when it heads out to the teams. And the concept is, our USF Juniors engines last forever, right? That's what they're designed to do. USF 2000, pretty much the same, just no restrictor. USF Pro, a little more of a race motor, let's be real. So they don't last, they're not quite as reliable as Juniors and USF 2000 because they're a full-on race motor. But that's what propels us to these fast laps, 4 seconds faster than USF 2000. The idea is to keep going quicker and quicker, but listen, these guys put in the work, they put in the time. All those engines, and remember, there's 70 engines on the racetrack on a weekend. There's probably another 70 or 80 or 100 in the inventory. Teams have backups. These guys have a ton of engines that they work on throughout the year to make sure the power goes to the road for all of our drivers in this program.
Working lap 9 now, and Argyros continues to lead every single lap here from the point, from the get-go. And yesterday, you could just kind of see a little bit of relief on his face on the podium. There was definitely, I think, some self-doubts, but no question, he had put together a fantastic race yesterday.
Best battle on the racetrack right now is between Leonardo Scorpioni and Frankie Mossman. Mossman made a move up the inside of turn number 6 to take that spot away. But you're right, Argyros out front, the confidence is high, able to get that race win. He always was, was pushing hard. He came so close early in the season, had some pace. Really good off-season testing. He was brimming with confidence coming into the season. And right there, leading lap number 8, means that's another bonus point as well. Most laps led. 33 points up for grabs in any race for the drivers here in our program. 30 points for a race win, 1 point for the pole, 1 for most laps led, and 1 for your fastest race lap. So at this point, the fastest race lap belongs to Frankie Mossman. Most laps led to G3 Argyros. He's got the bonus point for the pole as well. We'll see what happens with first, second, and third. Those obviously still up for grabs. Eric Cardenas was putting some pressure on, but he's fallen back a little bit last time by, lost about a half a tenth to Jeffers. Jeffers was, again, a little bit off of a couple tenths off of Argyros as well. So we'll see whether or not, if Cardenas slips back a little bit and gets a little bit more of a gap, you think that Jeffers will be able to turn it up and put his focus forward? Yeah, he's closing back up to Argyros here.
Well, Jeffers just went purple. So to your point, yes, he's got the pace to push.
And on cue, right? Yeah.
Like we actually know what we're talking about occasionally.
Let's not deal in lies and assumptions. I'll tell you this, though. Yeah, Jeffers laying down that lap. I talked about the fact, did he have a couple of relaxed laps? Did he take care of the tires a little bit? Again, tire management on this particular racetrack, it is a long one, as we know, 4 miles in length. Check out this battle further back. I love the fact that we've got some pretty good races going on here. This is the fight we've got right now. This is this is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, I believe, all scrapping it out there. Back up to the top of the hill. Scorpioni's been able to go back by again on Frankie Mossman. Look at this battle. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Not quite 10th. His 10th spot now is Sebastian Manson trying to work his way in there, but right at the tail of that group, running in that 9th position is Joey Brienza. in the IU Kelly School of Business machine for Exclusive Autosport, last year's USF 2000 Rookie of the Year. Joey Brienza coming into this particular race, digging for some points here and work himself back up into the top 10 potentially. But that's a good battle. I like the fact that we've got some good scraps further back. And it's been really the primary battling in here has been that fight between Mossman and Scorpione, but Schrag, Masella, I think Masella's got a spot there too. He may have went by Thomas Schrag.
You know, with that battle for the 4th and 5th kind of getting tight, bringing the rest of the pack back to them.
That's it. The guys at the back closing back in. Again, there's a fight there. A little back. The back there is Cameron and Masella. So I think it's kind of Mossman and Scorpione. Schrag seems to be in the middle. In fact, no, Schrag's gone by. I think Schrag got by there as well. Scorpione, I think, up into 4th. Yeah, Scorpione goes to 4th, Schrag to 5th. Thomas Schrag on it here right now for TJ Speed. Good scrap, but he's closing up on a Scorpione. Christian Cameron coming across the bow as well of Teddy Masella in turn number 1. So we got some VRD drivers, we got some TJ Speed drivers, and up front there, the driver everybody's trying to chase down is turn 3 Motorsports Leonardo Scorpione. 10 laps down, 5 to go. Argyros, Jeffers, Cardenas, top 3. Those are the drivers that are pulling away. We're keying a little bit here on this great scrap for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Oh, there's some side-by-side action there between Masella and Cameron. Little hip check coming down into turn 5. You know, Eric, you mentioned at one point that it feels like the drivers are cruising around a little bit. I feel like this group, the cruising has stopped. I think we're going at it now. It's all out war here to the end.
Well, as the fuel burn comes off as well, these cars are going to get plenty of grip, a little bit lighter on the touch. Certainly able to kind of put your head down, elbows up a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little elbows out as we start getting towards the end.
We had saw Jack Jeffers closing up a little bit here on G3 Argyros, but he's fallen back a little bit again, back to about a half a second. One of the things with these cars, the wings on the USF Pro 2000 car significantly more intricate and producing more downforce than USF 2000. And a driver's always complaining about the aero wash. You know, you get behind someone coming through the carousel, you feel like you're there, and all of a sudden the front end starts washing out. You got to put more wheel into it because you're losing the air off the front wing. Oftentimes you'll see a driver on the carousel maybe go half a width out to try to get some air over the left front of the wing, but that's what you're always complaining about. I'm closing, I think I had them, but then through turn 1 you carry so much speed, aero washed, and I'm way on the outside of the racetrack.
But how do you correct that aero wash? Sometimes you have to pedal out.
That's it.
And what it does is it takes the load off the back of the car. You get a little unsettled, and you drop a couple of tenths just because you've got to pedal out, and you lose a little bit of that momentum.
Almost contact there coming through turn number 1 in that battle we're talking about for 4th, 5th, and 6th with Scorpione, Schrag, and Mossman. Schrag looked like he was on the outside there. Mossman may have been able to get down to the inside of that corner. Schrag looked like almost contact with a Scorpione, and he was definitely a full car width wider coming through 1. Lots of runoff there, but it's not the fastest way around if you're missing that apex. Here's a good shot of how much of a lead the front trio has. The Scorpione has pulled away a little bit here. The best battle on the racetrack, maybe Teddy Masella versus Christian Cameron, and that's the fight for 7th and 8th. Cameron, I think, able to get back by and hold the spot. Actually, no, I think Masella's by. It's now Brienza putting the pressure here on Christian Cameron. Tough day for Michael Costello, currently running in the 11th position. Remember, came in here into the weekend sitting 2nd place in points. Still has that spot, but only 2 ahead of his teammate Leonardo Scorpione, only 5 ahead of Frankie Mossman, and 14 behind Jack Jeffers. And Costello just hasn't had that much pace here. He's down in 11th. Jack Jeffers with the fast lap. Eric had mentioned that earlier. Came on lap number 9, just a couple laps ago. Half a second lead now for Argyros. And that fight we saw for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th kind of gapping up a little bit here now. There's the lead. A lot of gap there as well. I'm sure these guys are going to be complaining about aero wash if we get a chance to talk to them on the podium.
Coming to 3 laps to go for G3 Argyros, Jack Jeffers, Andres Cardenas. And that gap last time through was just about 5,100ths up to 5,300. So Argyros adds about 200ths to that lead.
He'll be happy as well, Eric. He just set his fastest lap 2:02.093, and again, when the mechanics and the engineers sit down, like, okay, here's the tire pressure we're going to go with. This is what we want, because I want that car. I want it to be the best it can near the end of the race. And that, again, we always talk about the fact the car's not going to be great for the drivers over the opening couple laps, but when it starts coming in at the end of the race, it gives the drivers so much confidence. You know, he's going to come across the line. He's going to know he just laid down a 2:02 flat. He knows the pace is there. He's doing whatever he can to hold off Jack Jeffers. Jeffers always wants that race win, but man, you know these drivers have gone back, looked at the statistics. What's the average finish that you need to win a championship, right? They look at what Max Garcia did, Lockheed Hughes, Miles Rowe, and the other drivers who have won championships in this category over the years. Is it a 2.5? Is it a 3.5? What kind of average finish do I need to put together to be able to come away with a championship? It's like the version of Moneyball, right? right? It's not about stacking up those wins. It's, man, if my average finish is 2.5, do I statistically win the championship? That's going to be in their mind when they're on the racetrack.
You know, the worst part about that, doing that math too, is that's only what you can control. You can't control what anybody else does, and if everybody else is on the same page, just like we saw in USF 2000, that championship is 30 points, but there's 5 or 6 drivers that are within striking distance.
Yeah, and again, they're going to have to try to chip away. Sebastian Garzon, come on, 9 straight top 5 finishes. Unbelievable for Garzon. After, I would say, a little bit of a messy rookie year, he won the Lucas Oil School of Racing back in 2024, made his debut last year in USF 2000, and like many drivers, just wasn't kind of able to harness that enthusiasm. The opening was there, and he went for it. In fact, I think here in one of the races, last lap, he may have went for a move and turned 14, climbed over top of a driver. You know, you're coming to the checkered flag with whatever it was, a 5th place finish, 6th, and you maybe an overzealous move, and 14, as you know, so hard to pass. Probably would have got repassed anyways, but kind of threw it away. He's not making mistakes like that. He has been picture perfect here as a sophomore. And that's a lot of the times you and I talk a lot about our program being a 2-year deal, right? You're a rookie the first year, learn the car, figure out the pace, this car at this track. You come back the next year and go for the championship. Sebastian Garzon showing how the maturity levels change from year to year.
Well, and not only that, but the coachability. You can understand that he's getting that coaching feedback from his team, you know, and absorbing information and being a sponge, drawing it all in, and then putting those skills and putting that product back on the racetrack. Yeah, just being smart.
And D-Force Racing knows how to win championships. They've got 2 USF Juniors championships. They won the USF 2000 a couple of years ago with Kiko Porto. They know how to win championships. It's a fantastic operation, and they're thrilled right now that they've got Sebastian where they want him to be to potentially come away with the title. 2 laps remaining. This one is taken away as Argiro still leads, turns his fastest lap again on lap number 13. Everything going right. Are we really going to see 4 wins for Pabst Racing on the home racetrack? What a party it'll be in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. They'll be ready to rock things up. Argiro's trying to go back-to-back 2 different winners for Pabst in USF 2000 as both Eddie Beswick and Brad Majman able to score wins. Argiro's trying to see if he can't win 2 here at Road America to put his name firmly back into the championship discussion. Jack Jeffers, a tremendous drive here in second. Trying to do what he needs to do to keep the points going. He'd lose a little bit to Argiros, but not by much. G3's down in 5th, but he'd gain a ton on Costello and a Scorpione. White flag flying this time by. This is it. 1 to go. Final lap of a fantastic weekend here at Road America for the USF Pro Championships. We got a couple of fights on our hand. Cardenas still pushing on Jeffers, but it may be the scrap right now for P4. Coming down into turn number 1. Oh, we go back to the camera just in time perfectly, and it's a move for Mossman. He'll go to 4th. This Mossman to Scorpione battle has been fantastic for the second half of this race. Fast Frankie Mossman for VRD Racing back to P4, Scorpione to 5th. Lots of opportunities, though, for a Scorpione to come back by. Eric, you know what's going to happen here. The draft from 3 down to 5. Carousel to Canada. Lots of attempts to still to take that opportunity to overtake.
And Frankie said yesterday that the biggest thing that he was trying to take away from this weekend is being patient and knowing when to make your move.
So here we go. The drivers have got themselves through 5 and 6. The final time around. for G3 Argyros. Can he win again? I talked about the floodgates opening up, the confidence there for a young driver getting his first win. That breakthrough of telling himself, I can do this. At this level, I can win. I can go after a championship. And sometimes there's that doubt early on if you don't get that race win. But you get that victory, and man, it just changes things behind the wheel. Through the kink, Argyros looking very good. Last time by, it was over a second. Jeffers runs in second. Andres Cardenas continues to try to push, but the top three looking pretty static here right now. Through the kettle bottoms to Canada corner for the final time for G3 Argyros. Going to try to bring Pabst Racing their fourth win of the weekend. The battle continuing for a Scorpione and Mossman. Not happening in Canada, but as they work their way out of the final corners here, what a stellar weekend it's been for the kid from California. The Positive Energy Pabst Racing machine out of 14. Grabbing gears up the hill. Ladies and gentlemen, back-to-back jacks for G3 Argyros. He wins at Road America in race number 2 for USF Pro 2000. Unbelievable run for G3, challenged all race long, and he gets the fast lap of the race on the last lap. Are you kidding me? That's another bonus point. That's all 33 points. A full brace of points for Argyros. Oh man, fast lap 201.790. Jack Jeffers second. Andres Cardenas, a fantastic run. 2 podiums for the Peruvian for Jay Howard Driver Development. Frankie Mossman coming out top of that battle with Leonardo Scorpione. Eric, it was a wild one from start to finish. Great job for Argyros. It's going to change things in the championship. Jeffers looking good. Argyros has got momentum. Mid-Ohio up next. I'm loving the way things are shaking down here in this Pro 2000 class.
Argyros capitalized on that pole position, started up front, finished up front, full points spread for round number 2. That's exactly what he's going to need to do to continue to keep in this championship battle. Let's take a look at your USF Pro 2000 unofficial results. Your winner, G3 Argyros, back-to-back here at Road America, round 1 and 2 race winner. Jack Jeffers, your points leader. Championship battle narrows just slightly with second step on the podium, and Andres Cardenas will finish on the third step of the podium as well. In the rest of the top 5, Frankie Mossman will finish 4th, and Leonardo Scorpione will finish in that 5th spot. In 6th, Thomas Schrag. In 7th, the 25 of Teddy Musella. Christian Cameron will take the 27 car home 8th. Joey Brienza in 9th in the number 91 for Exclusive Autosport. Sebastian Manson in the 22 will finish in the top 10. Looking outside the top 10, the 20 of Mayor Dionorine. The 2 of Michael Costello will finish 12th. JT Hoskins in the 13th finishing position. Tyke Durst will finish 14th. Joshua Leonel will finish 15th. And Colin Aiken rounds out your field for VRD Racing in the 16th and final starting position for this USF Pro 2000 Andersen Company's Grand Prix, powered by Elite Engines. Rob Howden from the podium in just a few moments here for USF Pro.
Ladies and gentlemen, down here in Victory Lane to cap off this weekend's action, all part of the Andersen Company's Grand Prix of Road America, powered by Elite Engines. What a battle that was in the USF Pro 2000 category. Great fighting, not so much in the front for the 3 drivers. They ran well. The fighting a little bit further back in the pack. Let's start with the driver coming home in 3rd as we roll into podium presentations. Finishing 3rd for Jay Howard Driver Development, Andres Cardenas. Andres, I know you wanted the win, or the wins, but podiums are a pretty good way to start here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's really good points for the championship. That's why we won. We want to recover from, a difficult start to the championship. But really happy to come away with 2 podiums. We can build on it. I know, for example, Mid-Ohio is a really good track for us. So, looking forward to it.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Let's bring in the trophy here. P3 for Andres Cardenas. There's a Brennan helping us out there. Thank you so much. Finishing in 2nd spot today, point leader coming into the weekend, stacking them up again. A great drive. Finishing P2 for Exclusive Autosport, Jack Jeffers. Jack, you put the pressure on G3 numerous times there. I wondered whether or not you were going to make a move. Were you thinking about just maybe settling back and going for championship points?
Yeah, it definitely came into my mind, thinking about the big picture in the championship, but we always come here to win. We work hard to win. So the whole goal was to, try to put some pressure on him and maybe see if he can make a bobble and then try to get by him that way. But he stayed pretty consistent. He had a few off tracks, but I couldn't capitalize on them. And so, yeah, it was a good result, but, always expecting more.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Second place for Jack Jeffers, folks. A big point day for him. Brody Deschaines going to come in with that P2 trophy. Great job for Jack. Again, all these drivers up front here doing just a tremendous job. 3 different teams as well on the podium. Love seeing that. Jay Howard Driver Development, Exclusive Autosport. And, of course, the middle is going to go to Pabst Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, what a weekend for this young driver. I always talk about getting that first win. It kind of opens the floodgates for more. Back-to-back Jacks. Give it up for the winner today, ladies and gentlemen, G3 Argyros. The sweep of Road America. This team, of course, housed down at Oconomowoc, right close to here. How much does it mean to you to win 2 for them here this weekend?
Well, they say you get the family you're given and the family you're chosen. And I chose probably the best family in this entire paddock. And it shows by how much work and dedication we put into the program, how amazing the coaching is, and, just how down to how well we get to know each other. And it was pretty tight with all 3 of us. And then with 3 to go, my incredible engineer said, hey, run a 101.8. And then I just got to work. And then that was the carrot that I needed to go and run away and just make it a pretty decisive one. But yeah, from start to finish, I knew that we had, the same beautiful, amazing car that we had to win yesterday. And today from first it was a little bit easier, but lap to lap at Pabst Home is very meaningful, and then especially to sweep, and then not only pro but also how well our 2000 boys have done over there. This has been a weekend for the books.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
G3 Argyros, folks. 4 wins on the weekend for Pabst Racing. Tanner Dahlman's going to bring that trophy in for us here. Great job for G3 Argyros again. Back-to-back wins here, his first 2 victories in Pro 2000 competition. Great for the points as we work our way to the halfway point here, look towards Mid-Ohio, and then after that to Portland as we continue to work our way through this championship. Of course, as we know, the scholarship will send 1 driver from this series into the Indy Next program in 2027 to follow in the footsteps of drivers like Max Garcia, Lockie Hughes, yesterday's Indy Next winner, and as well Miles Rowe, the winner of that fantastic battle at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and the 5 IndyCar drivers who have won this championship as well. Louis Foster, Christian Rasmussen, Stingray Robb, Renus VK, and Kyle Kirkwood all raced in this USF Pro 2000 program. We're proud of our graduates, and we are very proud of the drivers we have in this program right now. So much talent in this category here, and this racetrack is a place where not only is it about drivers, it's all about engineers and the team as well. And Pabst Racing doing a tremendous job here. 4 wins in 5 races for Pabst Racing. I don't know that operation could ask for much more here, again, at their home racetrack. 2 weeks away, we head to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course to see how things run there for the USF Pro 2000 drivers. It's been a great weekend, as we know. Getting ready to cap things off here. Champagne waiting in the wings for the drivers in G3, who gets his 2nd win of his young USF Pro 2000 career. All 3 of these drivers rookies as well in the series. The freshman class unbelievably quick here this year. We're going to very likely see a rookie come away with the championship. It's going to be a tight one, but right now, Jack Jeffers, as we said, extending his point lead over Michael Costello as we head to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Tons of guests, all part of the USF Pro Championships program here. All about it. If you are watching online and want to be part of one of these guest groups, reach out to us. We'd love to host you here at an event. We have a fantastic time. Our whole hospitality crew does a stellar job in providing fantastic experiences for those who want to come to these awesome IndyCar events. And again, great to have all these guests with us here this weekend. Again, Champagne will cap things off. 5 races go in the books here this weekend. Started things off, of course, with testing on Thursday, practice and qualifying on Friday. 3 races yesterday and 2 more races today here to start a fantastic day here at Road America. Indy Next and IndyCar still to come. Can't wait for the IndyCar race to see who comes away with the win there. But again, these are the drivers who are going to do that. They're the ones that are going to step up and be in IndyCar in the next number of years. Here comes that Champagne, folks. Time to cap off this weekend at Road America when they throw that champagne. Give you one more round of applause. Guys, grab your champagne. Let's get things going. Grip it and rip it. Let's get at it. Start celebrating the final USF Pro 2000 race of the weekend. Jack Jeffers finishing in that second spot, chased G3 Argyros all race long, but Argyros goes back-to-back with another victory. Solid drive as well for Andres Cardenas as they celebrate together here in Victory Lane. That wraps things up for the Road America weekend for 2026 of the USF Pro Championships. Thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Andersen Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Houghton. Bye for now.